everyone, it's Joy here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing a card using Spellbinder's collection with Susan Tierney Cockburn's Peach Blossom. So actually I'm going to be starting off with the So Many Butterflies from Bibi Cameron, which is also a collection with Spellbinders. And I'm starting off with the largest butterfly. I die cut that from white cardstock. And then I'm going to come in and stamp with Simon Says Stamps Rose Lattice Background Stamp. Now, I couldn't find this on their website anymore, so I'm so sorry for using this, but I did link to another one that would work just as well. So I do have everything listed and linked below. I am coming in with the Distress Oxide ink Lemonade, and I'm going to stamp this over the background. Then I will do some ink blending, so we're going to have some tone on tone background, and then we're going to add some more details to this besides the inking, which is going to be really, really pretty. So I'm just going to ink this up using my Misty. I took out the foam piece that was inside because that background stamp is a red rubber background, which is thicker. So now I'm going to come in with my blender brush and just blend softly over this whole background. I don't want to lose that stamped detail overall. Some areas I might go a little bit darker with the ink blending, and so it'll soften that stamped image, which is okay. I just don't want to do that over the whole background. And then I'm going to let this dry for a couple minutes before I do the next step. So I'm going to be bringing in Distress Grit Paste, and this is Simon Says Stamps Off the Edge Daffodils Stencil, and I'm pretty sure that this is a new one. I think this is just from their recent release. And then I'm coming in with the grit paste. I'm going to be really careful on the edge there, and I'm just going to get all of these images. Now, I am going to be doing this color, or this card, in Ukraine's colors of yellow and blue of their flag, and just, I guess, dedication to them and everything that's going on over there, and to Yana, our crafty friend. She's so amazing, and she's in the Ukraine, obviously. And I know that tons of these designers and crafters and makers are doing things because I think it just makes us feel better when we feel like we can do something, even if it's this, making a card and putting it out there saying, we're thinking about you, we're praying for you. I'm just heartsick over this whole situation. I'm sure you are too. I'm just praying every day for everybody's safety in the Ukraine. And I'm also praying for the people of Russia who do not agree with this and how heartsick they must be. So I think just everybody, you know, this is just rough on everybody. So my prayers go out to them. There is a Ukraine card drive on Instagram where you can bid on some beautiful cards from some wonderful designers, and I will have that listed and linked below down in the description, and that'll be a really wonderful thing to participate in. So I do have that listed below. Okay, so here is the Peach Blossom. The first die you're going to die cut twice, the second die twice, the third die 6 times, and the last die once. I die cut these all from specialty cardstock. This is from Spellbinders. It's Susan's specialty card paper, something. It's something like that. I have it listed, you guys, sorry. But it's really thin and it has this really nice texture. So I'm going to, for all the Peach Blossoms, I'm going to color that with Copic markers in R30 and R20, just keeping it nice and soft. I'm coloring the front and the back of each one of these pieces. Now, if you wanted to die cut this from colored cardstock, you could do that and then you don't have to do the coloring. I like the coloring because, again, it adds some shading and a little bit more interest to each of the flowers. I'm also going to do a green for the leaves and this little tiny centerpiece. I don't even know what it's called, but I'm using YG 25 and 17. And then you have these little the little stamen pieces. I'm going to be using YO2 on that, but I will be leaving some white areas. And there's 2 pieces to the stamens. Oh, you guys, I totally forgot to write down these dark markers. So you can see the caps there. This is for the branch. And I'm just kind of I'm not even trying to be careful when I'm putting the color on because it doesn't really matter. You're not going to see most of it, but I will color the sides of it again because it is a white cardstock. Now this little piece of nonstick craft mat, this is Susan Tierney's like tool bag. I have that listed below. It has all the things you need to create these 3D flowers. So you have this little nonstick craft mat, which is perfect for coloring with Copic markers and gluing because it's easy to clean. Then you have like a foam, this foam mat here. You have the tool-in-one with all these little end pieces. This is the smaller loop tool. And I'm dragging from outside in, which is going to give these petals some dimension. I'm going to do this for all of the flowers. And then you have over to the right, you have that little white piece there, and it's a lot harder, and you can use that to make lines and veins in your flowers, or excuse me, in your leaves. Okay, so now I'm taking my reverse tweezers, I'm pinching, I'm folding back the edges of the flowers, but I'm pinching there in the center, then folding back the edges just a little bit. I'm going to do that for each petal. And these flowers, when you die cut it, you have a 3-petal and a 2-petal. You're going to put those together. That's going to make one flower. So these are really super easy to put together. They're a little time consuming, but it's actually kind of fun. And this is definitely something you can do by die cutting all of these and sitting and binge watching your favorite Netflix whatever. And you can make these while you're watching that. It's really, really super simple. Okay, so now for the stamens, I'm going to pull out these little scissors that come in that toolkit. And for this flat one, you have to cut the little legs that are sticking out. I'm going to call them little legs or little arms, and you're going to cut them in half because that's going to make them much thinner. Then I'm going to use my small little ball stylus and push that down in the center. For the next part of the stamen on the back side, I'm going to add some glue. I'm holding my tweezers on the little end that sticks out, and then I'm going to roll it in on itself. Hold it there for just a second, let the glue stick. I'm just going to kind of spread out those little stamen pieces. And then I'm going to glue this inside the other piece. So because the peach blossoms have a lot of stamens in the center. So I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue and just put that right in there. The flowers, I'm going to add glue to the smallest, the little 2-petaled one, add the 3-petal right on top. And it kind of fits it. You'll see how it fits in there. Perfect. And then you've got these beautiful little peach blossom flowers. So I'm going to do that one more time. And now you've got this great little flower. I'm going to put all of those aside to dry. Now here for the leaf, I'm going to bring in, which is like the leaf tool. It's like this sharp little curved edge. I'm just going to put that in my tool-in-one. On the back side of the flower, I'm going to draw a vein, and then I'm going to fold my leaf over in half actually, then flip it over, add some more veins on the front side. Then I'm going to fold it in half again and flip it over, and on the back side I'm going to use the larger ball stylus and just kind of flatten the top part of that leaf, which is going to give it some curvature. I'm going to use the small ball stylus, excuse me, you guys, tongue twister today, and just to the center of those little, they look like little stars almost, those little green stars, and just kind of push those down and give those some dimension. Okay, I have a piece of white cardstock here, and it is measured about 1/4 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch, excuse me, on all sides, smaller than an A2 size. I'm going to pop up that beautiful butterfly with foam tape. And then let's get these flowers on here. So obviously I'm going to be using liquid glue because a lot of these images will be touching that grit paste. So a tape runner would not hold. So I would absolutely use a liquid glue because that is so strong. I'm going to adhere down those little, what I call little star pieces. I'm only going to do 3 flowers on here, even though I created 5, but you know, you can put those aside, or 4, I think I created 4. You can put those aside and use them for another project. I'm going to add those flowers to those little green stars using some liquid glue and putting them in place. And then I'll come in with some leaves and add this around. So from what I understand from a peach blossom is there's either a lot of flowers or a lot of leaves, but you're not going to have a lot of flowers and a lot of leaves. So I'm only going to do the 3 flowers. I'm going to come in with a few leaves, and then we'll add some other butterflies. So I'm going to add these stamens right here in the center. Using a little bit of glue, I'm also just kind of opening them up so they look a little bit fuller. And now I'm going to be placing all of these leaves down. I really loved how this card turned out, and of course this card really means something to me right now. I just felt like I just felt like I was doing something instead of just sitting here thinking about it. I mean, obviously prayer works, and I totally believe in prayer, but to physically be doing something at this point felt nice. And this card turned out absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to finish with those leaves. And then I've die cut from that same So Many Butterflies stamps or die set, excuse me, the smallest butterfly. I am coming in with prize ribbon and just inking that up, and I'm going to ink up both sides of these. And I only ended up using 3 of these butterflies, but I did also die cut another set from white cardstock that I did not ink up. I'm going to glue these together because I want this to have some dimension. So I'm just kind of bending those blue butterflies up, and the white part of the butterfly is going to stay flat. I'm adding just a thin line of liquid glue down kind of that bent part of the butterfly. I would call it the spine. And I'm just going to glue that there, let it dry, and then I can bend up those blue wings, and that's going to give these butterflies some 3D dimension. I did come in with a white gel pen and just add a little bit of dot detail to these 3 butterflies so they didn't look so plain, and this would add a little bit of interest to each one of these images. So to the top wings and the bottom part of the wings, just some very simple dots. I mean, you definitely could get more, add more of a design if you wanted to, but I kept it pretty simple. Then I'm going to glue these around my flowers and on my card, and as soon as you drop this blue in, it just comes to life. It is so pretty. So I'm going to glue that one, that middle one there, with some foam tape. I felt like that one needed to be popped up a little bit more than the other ones, and then that other one will be at the top, kind of coming down. Then I'm going to do the sentiment. I'm using Honeybee Stamps Praying Big Time, which obviously I think works and makes sense for what's happening right now. And this says, I'm going to use the one that says Praying for Strength. And I'm going to stamp that with the prize ribbon as well. Added a little bit more blue onto this card. I'm going to line up those 2 straight sentiments at the bottom. The praying has a coordinating die. That's one of the things I really love about Honeybee Stamps, is coordinating dies for sentiments. I think it is fantastic. So I'm going to stamp that a few times onto some white cardstock. Then I'm going to pull out the die and put that in place. It took me a second to find the right one. I kept thinking it wasn't the one that it was, which was really funny. I'm going to tape that down. First I need to trim out the other ones. And I'm just using my Tim Holtz paper trimmer. Then I will use the coordinating die using some low-tack tape to tape that in place and run that through my die cut machine. And then I'm going to pop this up with foam tape. Now there's going to be part of this, the G in Praying, that I'm going to add 2 pieces of foam tape because that is going to be hanging off. I'm going to double up the foam tape because that is going to be hanging off the butterfly. So the butterfly is already popped up with foam tape, so I need that other part to be double foam tape. I'm going to adhere that, and then the other 2 sentiments will also be popped up with foam tape. I do want to say, if you guys like what you are watching, please subscribe to my channel, comment, like, share, click the notification button, all of those things. I really appreciate it. I also do have some affiliate links, and it costs you guys nothing to use, but it does help me, so thank you so very much. So I'm going to finish that up, and then we're just going to come in with some Studio Katia Lemon Burst foiled pearls. Lemon burst pearls. I don't know if they're foiled, but they look a little foiled, but they're very pretty. So I'm going to put a few scatterings of those around, just using my liquid glue to put those in place. And then this card is finished, and I think it is so pretty. It turned out so lovely. These peach blossoms are just beautiful, and of course the butterflies are just absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.